Hello and welcome to Wednesday night's football review with full of action and full of goals, and can't wait to analyze each of these games together. Arsenal won against Brighton, in which Saka marks milestone appearance in style to send leaders 7 points clear. With Manchester City failing to beat Nottingham Forest at home, the Gunners took the chance to extend their lead at the top to 7 points. Saka marked his 300th appearance for Arsenal with a vital goal as his early strike deflected in off Carlos Baleba and snuck through Bart Verbruggen, who failed to react on time. Arsenal had earlier survived the scare as Baleba's lob looped over a displaced David Raya, though Gabriel Magalhaes was on hand to make a recovery. Brighton pushed back admirably and nearly equalized through Jorginho Rutter, who saw a wicked drive parried by the outstretched fingertips of Raya, but the hosts were unable to find a breakthrough. Former Brighton forward Leonardo Trossard squandered a golden chance late on as well, slicing well off target from Jurrien Timber's centre, though his profligacy did not cost Arsenal the end. At 24 years old and 180 days old, Saka became the fourth youngest Arsenal player to reach 300 appearances, only behind David O'Leary, Cesc Fabregas, and Liam Brady. And it's hardly any surprise that the forward marked his triple century with a goal against Brighton. Saka has been directly involved in 5 goals in 6 Premier League appearances at the Amex Stadium against the Seagulls, which is 3 goals and 2 assists, and those goals are his joint most at an away venue in the league, along with 3 against West Ham at the London Stadium. Along with Saka, Raya also marked milestone in this match, reaching his 100th Premier League appearance for Arsenal. In total, he has managed 43 clean sheets, the most by an Arsenal goalkeeper through their first 100 matches, and the joint 6th most by any goalkeeper through a century of matches with one club, which is level with Edwin van der Sar's 43 for Manchester United. Brighton actually generated the better chances with their 0.80 expected goals, edging out Arsenal's 0.43, but it was the Gunners who had the clinical edge. Full-time score once again, Brighton 0, league leaders Arsenal 1. Full-time score at the Etihad Stadium between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest, Man City 2, Nottingham Forest 2, has Gibbs White and Anderson early potentially crucial draw. Nottingham Forest twice fought back to earn a point versus Man City that could have ramifications on both ends of the Premier League. Man City twice surrendered the lead in a 2-2 draw with Nottingham to lose ground on Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. Antoine Semenyo and Rodri twice had City head in the Etihad Stadium on Wednesday, only for Morgan Gibbs-White and Elliot Anderson to earn strugglers Forest a potentially crucial point. Gibbs-White had fluffed a one-on-one straight at Gianluigi Donnarumma shortly before Semenyo expertly guided Ryan Cherki's centre home on the volley just after the half-hour mark. Forest talisman scored an audacious backheel from a swift corner to restore parity 11 minutes after the restart, only for Rodri to head in from Ryan Aït-Nouri's corner. But the visitors fought back with Elliot Anderson bending into the bottom right corner from 25 yards, and Forest almost went in front when Ryan Yates wastefully headed wide from a corner. City frantically sought a winner and had a couple of penalty calls against Erling Haaland and Rodri wiped away, before Semenyo puts a free kick onto the roof of the goal and Savinho had one blocked on the line by Murillo in a breathless finale. The upshot is that City are now 7 points behind leaders Arsenal, albeit with a game in hand, while Forest are outside the relegation zone only on goal difference after West Ham beat Fulham. It was a disappointing result for City, but the fact they have clawed their way back into the title race is in no short part down to Semenyo. Since his City debut in January, only Viktor Gyökeres has been involved in more goals in all competitions among the Premier League players than Semenyo, and Gyökeres is also the only player with most goals at that time, which is 8. Moreover, he has been involved in 5 goals in his last 7 Premier League appearances for City, with Emmanuel Adebayor the only African player to have been involved in more goals across their first 7 appearances for the club in the competition. Gibbs White continues to be crucial for Forest. He scored his 25th Premier League goal for the club, overtaking Brian Roy, and now only Chris Wood is ahead of him with more goals for the Tricky Trees in the competition. Once again, full-time score Man City 2, Nottingham Forest 2. Full-time score in St James's Park between Newcastle and Manchester United. Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 1, as Osula's last gasp stunner deals Carrick's first loss. William Osula came off the bench to provide the heroics as the 10 men of Newcastle stunned Manchester United on Wednesday. Michael Carrick's unbeaten run in the charge of Manchester United came to a dramatic end as William Osula's 90-minute wonder goal clinched a 2-1 win for Newcastle at St James's Park. Carrick could have become just the third United boss to go unbeaten through the first 10 league games in charge after Herbert Bamlett in 1927 and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in 2018-19. And following Liverpool's shock defeat to Wolves and Aston Villa's chastening 4-1 loss to Chelsea, the Red Devils were also looking to pull clear of their rivals in the race for the top 4 Premier League finish. And they look to be the favourites coming out of the chaotic period of the first half stoppage time, which stretched to 9 minutes after the fourth official had signalled for 3. Following a glaring miss from Brian Mbeumo, Jacob Ramsey, who had already been booked, went down easily under the challenge of Sene Lammens and was shown his second yellow card for simulation. Newcastle responded brilliantly though, with Anthony Gordon drawing a reckless foul from Bruno Fernandes on the left side of the area and keeping his cool from the penalty spot. Fernandes atoned by curling a free kick into the area for Casemiro to nod home before the break, but United failed to maintain the momentum after halftime. They finally show more attacking endeavour in the latter stages, with Aaron Ramsdale blocking Yeleni Yoro's header and acrobatically denying Joshua Zirkzee, before Osula scored an instant classic. Having been released down the right by Kieran Trippier, Osula jinxed past Tyro Malacia and curled past Lammens from the right corner of the area, sparking wild celebrations among the home fans. A spectacular save from Jordan Pickford denied Newcastle's last gasp winner against Everton last time out, as the aspirations of a top 7 finish took another blow. The Magpie supporters had a late goal to celebrate this time around, and Newcastle have now scored 3 winners in the 90th minute or later this season. It's only the third time they have scored that many in a single Premier League game, while United have now conceded 10 last-minute winners in the competition's history, and 8 of those have come in the last 4 seasons. Osula was the 8th Newcastle player to score a 90-minute winner in the Premier League as a substitute, and the first of any club to do so against United. His goal came from his only shot, while the chance was worthy only 0.06 expected goals. That meant Newcastle, who won the XG battle by 2.22 to 1.28, picked up a huge victory despite Ramsey becoming the first Premier League player to receive a second yellow card for simulation since Yves Bissouma for Tottenham in 2023. Once again, full-time score at St James's Park, Newcastle United 2, Carrick's Manchester United 1. Full-time score at Villa Park, Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4, in which Joao Pedro's hat-trick gets Rossini's side back to winning ways. Chelsea trailed after just 2 minutes against Aston Villa on Wednesday, but Joao Pedro subsequently took center stage at the Villa Park. Joao Pedro's Chelsea's hat-trick hero as the Blues came from behind to inflict a 4-1 rout on Aston Villa. The Brazil forward was also credited with the assist for Cole Palmer's strike at Villa Park, where the visitors ended their 3-match winless streak. Liam Rossini's side fought themselves behind after just 2 minutes when Ollie Watkins dummied Leon Bailey's low cross for Douglas Luiz to deftly flick beyond Philip Jorgensen, who had replaced Robin Sanchez in front of goal for the clash. However, Chelsea responded well. Joao Pedro and Palmer were both denied by Emiliano Martinez before the Brazilian equalized in the 35th minute, applying the final touch after Malagusto drilled an inviting ball across the 6-yard box. After Ollie Watkins was denied an offside following a VAR review, the visitors completed the turnaround in the first half stoppage time with Enzo Fernandez releasing Joao Pedro, who neatly lifted the ball over Martinez. It was 3-1 in the 55th minute when Martinez's chance from Reece James's cross ricocheted off Joao Pedro to Palmer, who drove the ball home from the edge of the area. The England forward then played a sublime through ball to split the Villa defense 9 minutes later, enabling Alejandro Garnacho to square for Joao Pedro to complete his hat-trick. Garnacho almost added a fifth goal later on, while substitute Tammy Abraham's looping header hit the crossbar at the other end as Chelsea comfortably go back to winning ways. Chelsea have won 14 of their 31 Premier League away games at Aston Villa, only winning more visits to Tottenham and Southampton in the competition. Joao Pedro was the hero, becoming the first player to be directly involved in 4 goals in a single Premier League game this season. He's also the 8th Brazilian to score a hat-trick in the competition. Villa had made a strong start. Luiz's strike, timed at 1 minute and 59 seconds, was the host's earliest goal scored and Chelsea's earliest goal conceded in the Premier League this season. Each of the Brazilians' last 12 Premier League games goals have been scored at Villa Park. That is now the longest ever run by any player at the ground in a competition, overtaking Dion Dublin's run of 11 in a row from November 1998 to September 1999. However, it proved academic, with Villa losing a Premier League home game, in which they had a lead at any stage for the first time since February 2023 against Arsenal, ending a run of 45 unbeaten at Villa Park in the competition when leading, which is winning 39 and drawing 6. Once again, full time from Villa Park, Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. The full-time whistle sounded in the Coppa Italia between Lazio and Atalanta. Full-time score, Lazio 2, Atalanta 2. Full-time score at the Stadio Olimpico as Lazio and Atalanta cancel each other in a thrilling 2-2 draw in the first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final. After a goalless first half, which saw Christoph's header ruled up for offside and Zappacosta strike the crossbar with an acrobatic effort, Lazio took the lead 64 seconds into the second half as Dele Bashiru lifted a composed finish over Carnesecchi. However, the lead did not last long as Atalanta leveled the scoreline 4 minutes later. Samardzic saw his long-range effort palmed by Provedel, but only into the path of Pasalic, who finished the pass to the Lazio goalkeeper. With the contest heading for a draw, substitute Dia pounced the Pasalic error to slot past Carnesecchi in the 87th minute. But there was still time for more drama, and 2 minutes later, as AC Milan loanee Musa netted late equalizer after thumping a powerful finish past Provedel. The host created 6 shots with 3 on target, reflected by an XG of 1.01, whereas the visitors registered 10 shots with 3 on targets, highlighted by an XG of 0.54. The ties finally poised for the second leg, which is going to be played on April 22, 2026. Once again, full-time score in Coppa Italia, first leg, after Como and Inter have played their game yesterday, which ended 0-0, full-time on Wednesday night, Lazio 2, Atalanta 2. And that concludes Wednesday night's fixture list of amazing encounters. Till this weekend, take care.